All right, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Northreach Board of Directors meeting. Today is the 23rd of May, 2018. Present tonight, we have the president, the secretary, the REO for Astral Winds, REO for Ravenstone, REO for Lupin Moon, REO for Frozen Coast, and our ex officio. So everybody's here. I'm going to call the meeting to order at 8:02 p.m. We currently only have one item on the agenda, which is the secretary's report. Amanda, are you prepared for that?
Unfortunately, I don't have that up yet. I was just finishing up updating it before the meeting.
Okay.
But I can have it on the COC board tonight.
That'd be great.
The BOD.
That's fine. Yeah, that'd be good. In light of that, I'm going to mark that down as tabled. Does any other member of the board have an item they would like to vote to have added to the agenda tonight? Okay. In that case, seeing as how there is nothing else on the agenda, I motion to adjourn.
Sounds good.
Okay, I heard a second in there. Is anybody opposed to adjourning? Okay, I hear no opposition, so we will adjourn the meeting at 8:04 p.m. All right. So then we'll move into our Council of Crowns. So welcome to the Council of Crowns meeting, everybody, for May 23rd, 2018. Same folks still present. So everybody here, as well as the Kingdom Champion, Kingdom Guildmaster Reeves. Absent from the council tonight is the Monarch of Icefire Bay, as well as the Kingdom Regent, who is out doing some family stuff. So, see. So we'll start with the Kingdom Officer report. So, Prime Minister, do you have anything to report to the council?
We have just about wrapped up banking changeovers. Yay. I have meetings with all of the new prime ministers coming on to work through our onboarding process. Things are moving pretty smooth despite all the big events coming up.
Right. Okay. I've got a question for you. In regards to the Prime Minister reports, there's a specific information that the council has requested be reported at least monthly. Would it be beneficial to you and your team to put together a I don't know, some sort of like a Google form or something to submit that information?
We actually have a Google form for that. I just have to link it over on the boards. It just needs to be updated from the time we took on a new prime ministers. It's up to date otherwise.
Okay, can you please send me a link to that form?
Absolutely.
Okay.
As soon as I'm down at my desk.
Yep, I just need a link to it. I can research it from there myself. That's cool. Okay. In that case, I would like to get your council sort of in the habit of providing that information regularly to the council, so that we can do all the stuff that we got to do on our end.
Can do.
So let's you and I work on that over the next week or two, just to make sure we get everything up to date. Maybe before the next COC meeting would be awesome.
Yep.
Okay. Does any other member of the council have anything for the Kingdom Prime Minister? Okay. Well, I don't. Then you're good to go. So next would be the Kingdom Champion.
Hey everyone, I don't really have a lot to report. About the only substantial thing that's happened between last time we talked and now is that all of the questing stuff has gone live and is out there for the people. and most of that work was actually done by Richter, so I don't have a whole lot to report for you.
Okay. Does anyone on the council have anything for the Kingdom Champion? All right, Guildmaster of Reeves.
How's everybody doing tonight? Can you guys hear me okay?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. So since the last time we had a meeting, I have completed the database system for the questers so that we have a at our fingertips and immediate information for any region, any location, any quester, anywhere can have information about all of their questing stats. It's ready to be pulled up within seconds of a request, so we don't have a long queue at battle games during questing and all that, so we can actually be on the field and swing more foam. And I've also got a submission form up, and it's already been put out, and I'm very impressed with the amount of people that have been using that, and it has helped us exponentially in getting this input and get all this data in. We are quite literally ready for questing in any park, anywhere, anything ready to do now.
Okay.
Other than that, Reeves tests have been reporting in as being active. People are doing it. People are taking them. I'm getting local GMR messages pretty much daily from people taking the Reeve tests or people asking about Reeve tests, and it's looking good. The online Reeve tests are working, and it has been. We have moved solely to that. I haven't heard of a paper test since the last time we had that issue, and
Okay. And corpora tests are in the same boat?
Absolutely. Forgive me, I forgot to mention that. That will conclude my report.
Okay. Here. Okay, so I've got a something for both of you, GMR and the champion. Please, you only have 2 months left in your terms. Please make sure that you have fulfilled all of the basic requirements of your position before you step on, before you step down and hand it off to somebody else.
You got it, boss.
I'd like you guys to wrap up. There's several things that I'm not really sure what the status of is. So I guess I'll bring some of those up here. I'm going to pull up my admin manual real quick. So I want to make sure that, Garrett, that you guys have updated the Book of War. And that's maintained somewhere that's accessible to all of the regional champions, especially the new ones we get in August.
Okay.
That should include all of the battle games that you guys have run this reign and any notes you have. GMRs, sort of the same thing, except with the rules library, and to make sure that's put together and that, again, it's maintained in such a manner that it's accessible to the general membership. Double check the admin manual if you're not sure of what's supposed to be in the rules library, but there's a bunch of stuff that's supposed to be in there. I want you guys, I know that questing is happening and you guys are super excited about that, and it's really awesome and the members are into it. We just need to not forget the other basic stuff that we have to do as well, which basically is making sure that you're working with all of your officers to be the best referees / game designers that they can be, and that you guys are leaving your councils in better shape than when you stepped into office.
Got it.
Yep.
All right. Awesome. Does anybody have anything for the Kingdom Guildmaster of Reeves? Okay. You guys are good to go. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Good night, everyone.
All right. All right, Guildmaster of Engineers. Let us have it. What you got?
Okay, so when I left Abrams on this would have been Sunday night, we had about 80 buffers taped up, ready for covers, and they continue working on it after I left. So I don't have an official count, but from the pictures Abram posted, it looks like they got a lot more done. I'm over the next 2 days, I'm going to be going around collecting covers from anybody who's heading up to Wolf's Cry, or not Wolf's Cry, but excuse me, Solstice Wars. Make sure that fabric stays down here. We'll get the rest of it all stitched up, and we should be ready to rock and roll by Run Fair.
Okay, so do we have a number of swords that are completely finished and ready to go?
None of them are completely finished. They just need covers. I've got Jen Suter, Kraken. Who else I got working on covers? Cottle Isle's working on covers. Shanette Jackson, JoJo, down in Froco. She took some fabric. She's working on covers, and she is going to be dropping those off to me as she rolls through on her way up to Solstice Wars.
Okay, so how many swords are only waiting for a cover?
Approximately 85, and then there is probably 30, 40 more waiting on just tape, just to hold everything together, and then covers, and then more caps and whatnot getting ready to go on. And we are supposed to be having another glue and tape party at Abrams Friday.
Okay. How many more of these work sessions do you guys have scheduled between now and the fair?
Right now, just the one because Solstice War. So it's going to be a long night.
Okay.
May I make a recommendation?
Yeah.
Solstice Wars is a lot about hanging out. There are a lot of people who would love to just, sit around a campfire and, laugh with each other while working on a project for the kingdom. It might not be a bad idea to send up some materials and do some work at that event.
If we can find room for it, I am totally down.
Well, I've got an empty trailer. I can put whatever you want in it. That might be a good time to put covers on, because that is a deceptively time-consuming process. It takes a lot longer than you think it does. So getting the covers put on and taped down might be a good task. So if you want to bring along those 85 swords and enough covers, then you can have at least those finished. You guys are going to need to schedule more than one day, because you need, essentially, if you finish all the swords that you built right now, you're not even halfway to what we need before next weekend. So I need you to figure out how to make that happen.
All right. Working on it.
Okay. I mean, delegate, schedule, get other people involved, whatever you got to do, but you're the head of the snake. So
well, I've been posting on this for the past month and a half or so, and only so much can get done. Be helpful if we could get some other people to blow up the page a little bit, be like, yo, help with this.
Okay. We can post things like, please help with this, but that isn't specific enough for somebody to commit to helping. So since you're the one coordinating all of the materials and the locations, etc., all I can do is post something that says, please contact Hunter if you're interested in helping. But they don't know exactly what they're helping with specifically. If I could say, like, please help Hunter on Wednesday at 5 p.m. at this address, then we're much more likely to see somebody say, yes to that.
Nope, I understand. I feel like I've been pretty straightforward with what I need done. I've gotten a lot of extra help with the covers. Decent amount of help getting everything put together as far as structural whatnot goes. But still got a bit of work to do. So
okay, yeah, let's chat some this weekend. If you after you're done Friday, or yeah, let's chat some this weekend at Solstice War, and we'll put together a plan, because we need, bare minimum, we're going to need 300 swords as we roll into the first weekend, and then a plan to finish another at least 200 before the second weekend. So we need to get that figured out.
Well, the good news is it's Memorial Day weekend, and I will not be going to Solstice Wars, so I'm going to have a long weekend to work on this stuff.
Oh, good.
And
let's make sure that everybody that's not going to Solstice War,
wrap up a handful of people that aren't going to be going to Solstice Wars too. We'll get this knocked out.
yes, let's make sure that information's available, and let's get people a plan to go there. That's something we can easily push. And in 3 days, if you had like 3 8-hour days and a team of 4 people, you'd be able to do all the swords you need to do. So, all right, cool. Does anybody have anything for the Guildmaster of Engineers? All right. In that case, we will move on. Does anybody have anything for the June All Thing? There's currently nothing on the agenda, although we have another COC meeting before that date. So if there's anything you guys would like to see added to that agenda, please think about it before the next meeting. State Fair. Okay, so we've got a spot at the State Fair. I got the paperwork in the mail yesterday. I received the paperwork in the mail. So I will have to get that to Amanda. You and I are going to have to coordinate on that. I did talk them down in price to $1,500, which is actually pretty darn reasonable, considering that's only twice what we pay for the Ren Fair. But it's like a 12-day event, so that's pretty cool. We just have to get, I think the first payment is due. I'll double check the paperwork, but I know it's after the first or second weekend of Ren Fair. So, Amanda, that should put some money back in the bank and make it easy to do that.
With where we're at right now, I could feasibly just pay for that.
Okay. So that's sort of where we're at. We need to, or did we? Man, let me look at my notes. Did we appoint an autocrat for that?
I don't think we did. With this up in the air, it was during.
Right, that's right, because we weren't decided. Yeah, we weren't for sure knowing if we were going to do it. So, I will make a post as soon as we're done here to see if there's anybody interested in doing that. I think we should make a decision by the next meeting.
Question.
Yes.
Are we doing both fairs?
The Tanana Valley Fair is something that you get to coordinate locally. It's considered a smaller event, so that would be something you would run, or whoever the next monarch would be, I guess. I don't think it's in our request for bids. Maybe it is.
No, I believe I became the autocrat of Solstice War in a fair, but I haven't even touched a fair yet. I was focusing on Solstice Wars.
Right, but that's yes, we had intended to do that, and you are in charge of it.
Okay, after Solstice War, I'm gonna start manning up for that.
Okay. It should
And that's
be
the Tanana Valley Fair, right? Not the State Fair, the Palmer one.
Correct. So, Puppet, are you free to come down to Anchorage on either of the first 2 weekends of June?
I could. Well, what? Just to clarify, am I in charge of the Fairbanks Fair?
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure. Yeah, I can come down those 2 weekends.
You just one of them. If you could come down to the Renaissance Fair, might be a fun trip. And come spend some time at the Amguard booth and see how it's set up and run. You can see what you can do about running something in a similar fashion up at the Tanana Valley Fair. And that way, it's a pretty good formula that's been ironed out, over the last 6 or 7 years now, something crazy like that.
Okay.
And if you come in and pitch in and help out there, that'll give you a really good idea on how to set it up and run it.
Okay. Yeah. Just tell me what days. I work Monday through Friday, 8 to 6 p.m. So
Okay, it'd be a Saturday and or Sunday, either the weekend right after
Okay.
Solstice War or the weekend after that. It's
Okay.
just those 2 weekends. So pull up my calendar here. That would be the 2nd or the 9th, those 2 weekends.
Okay.
So if you're able to come down, I mean, if you have a reason to come down to Anchorage anyway, that would give you a pretty good insight into everything.
Okay.
All right. And then I would also recommend that, make a note for yourself on Tuesday after Solstice War, call the Tanana Valley Fair people. See if it's even possible for us to get a booth.
Copy that.
All right. Any questions or comments or further discussion about the state fair? All right. So the next thing would be clan travel coordination update, but that's a mini Bard thing, and he's not here. So the next thing would be the permanent storage solution that we're working on. So we need to figure out, last time we discussed this, we discussed how much money we wanted to spend on it. I don't know that we've reached any sort of resolution in that. Did anybody have any thoughts or comments on it? Is this something the council still wants to pursue?
I think it's something we need to pursue.
I agree.
The more I look into it, the more I think some sort of, storage device like a Connex or a shed or what have you, preferably something portable so that if we need to move it, we can, is really the only way to go. So
so we need to find a budget for this.
Yeah.
Because we can explore all kinds of solutions, but if we don't narrow the range down to within a certain budget, frame, we won't. It'll be impossible to narrow it down to a solution that works for us. So basically,
go
ahead.
How practical would it be to hold a fundraiser or something for the sole purpose of solving this issue? And then
that's not the issue we have, James. The issue is we haven't decided how much money we want to spend.
I was going to say, would it be practical to hold a fundraiser and then decide to spend as much money as that fundraiser makes? So, if it doesn't make us very much money,
if we hold a fundraiser, the people that are raising funds want to know how much money we're trying to raise and what we're raising it for quickly. So, it generally doesn't go over well if we say, hey, we want to raise as much money as we can, but we don't know exactly what we're going to spend it on, but we want to spend it all. It's generally that's not specific enough to get people really invested in it. So I would like us to, as a council, decide this is how much money we want to raise. Then we'll figure out where the money's going to come from later. We can do that through fundraisers. We can make a budget amendment. We can do all kinds of things to solve that. But right now we need to sort of specify exactly what it is we're trying to solve. And that would include how much money we need to raise.
I think it'd be easier to work this a little bit backwards from what I think you're suggesting. I think we need to come up with a solution to figure out how much money we need to spend. Ideally, something, affordable and permanent rather than,
maybe my brain works a little different.
Let's set money aside first. Now let's figure out what it's going to cost first. And
it's not, maybe I'm misspeaking here, or it's not necessarily we're trying to decide how much it's going to cost. It's we're trying to establish a ceiling for what solutions we're willing to look at. So if we say, please look for solutions that are $2,000 or less, because if we say, let's just go look for solutions, I can find hundreds. But until I know about how much we're willing to spend, then we're just sit with a list of 100 options. And it doesn't really help us focus it. Does that make sense? Maybe that's just the way, maybe that's how my brain works.
That does make sense, but I think it's a little bit easier to kind of visualize what this is going to cost if we can see, potential solutions here rather than just making guesswork and then trying to work within that budget.
Can I
Okay.
pop in for a second?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so just with a quick, I'm using like 30 seconds of Google research here, but just looking at some of the storage units available in Palmer, it's like an average of about $50 a month, so that'd come to about 600 for a calendar year. So if we were
How
to
big
set-
of a space is that?
that was, let me pull it back up. Looks like 7 by 14 by 8. Or we could get a like a small. That's an unheated one. That's a medium unheated.
Right.
So I'm thinking just like estimate about $50 a month. So 600 for a calendar year. If that's an acceptable amount.
I'm afraid that that's not going to be enough space. But okay, all right. So a storage option is going to be somewhere between $600 and $1,200 a year, right?
Alternatively, if we get something that's permanent, instead of paying that constant fee, we could have one big down payment and then have it be essentially free for the rest of as long as it lasts. So,
well, right.
I think
so
if we can find something for $2,000, I think that's a better idea if it's permanent.
Sure. I mean, so those are the kind of options we have. We can rent a facility, which is probably cheaper initially, but will constantly cost us money until the end of time. We can get like a permanent, not easily transportable solution, like a Connex, which will run between $2,000 and $4,000 depending on the shape of the unit and where we buy it. We can buy a trailer, which would cost anywhere from $3,000 to, or we can go all the way up to like buying our own building and putting our stuff in that. So I don't know what solution you guys would like us to explore. But for me, in order to narrow it down, I just got to know how much money we want to spend. So we can take whatever approach you guys want, but this has been on our agenda for a while now. So I'd like to see some forward momentum here.
How were the walls transported from the Kenai area up to Palmer for Dungeon Crawl?
I think this year they were transported in a U-Haul.
Would we be able to hunt down the rough dimensions of the U-Haul? I'm just kind of trying to get a kind of a general idea of how much space it's going to take up.
Well, that U-Haul was
the only thing.
Yeah, it's not the only thing. Unfortunately, we still have the castle. We have probably about a pallet-sized footprint of stuff that's just sitting in my shop. Which, if we have a Northreach storage location, we should probably move it there. But it was a 20-foot or 24-foot U-Haul. It's a pretty good sized one. Garrett would know for sure, but he's gone already.
Half of my
I'm just
shed
trying to get
too.
have a rough idea of dimensions on everything we need to put there before we.
Right. Like I would recommend. I would say that we would need at least bare minimum 200 square feet. So 10 by 20. That's assuming a 7 or 8 foot height.
All righty.
So I tell you what, this is homework for each and every one of you, maybe except for Hunter. Hunter, I'll give you a break since your plate's pretty full right now. Everybody else on the council, please try to come up with 3 solutions, okay? A low budget solution, a high budget solution, and a solution that's somewhere in between them that gives us 200 square feet of storage. Ideally, it would be somewhere that's centrally located, so somewhere in the Anchorage or Palmer area, so that if we need to move something up to one of the extreme parks, it doesn't require us to do a 9-hour drive. So if all of you will please find some time in the next 2 weeks to do some research on that, I would like to get this resolved before we all step down. Can everybody commit to doing that?
Absolutely.
Give her a shot.
Okay. That's all I can ask. Okay. Ground quals. Oh, sorry. Does anybody else have anything about the storage solution? Any other discussion for that? All right, then I will move on. Crown Quals Committee update. Not a whole lot to update here, but just to make sure everybody's in the loop and I guess to document it for posterity. We voted on the chairperson for this committee last week, and the vote was split between Astriana and Rosedath. I contacted each of them, asked them some general questions about how they imagined leading the committee and what approach they would take. They both sent me pretty substantial walls of text. They were both very thoughtful about it. I selected Astriana between the two of them, based primarily on her experience and the way that she articulated that experience in her responses to me. She's got a lot of free time this summer due to the advanced stage of her pregnancy, and she'll be hanging out and have time to do a lot of this stuff. So I am looking forward to seeing what she comes up with. I have tasked her with coming up with a list of committee candidates for us by next meeting for us to confirm, and then they will begin their work.
Sounds great.
Any other questions, comments, or discussion for the Crown Quals Committee? Okay. All right, autocrat updates. Puppet Solstice Wars next. It's this coming weekend. It's a few days away. Anything the council needs to be made aware of, or anything we can do to help you out?
Parking is going to be different this year because where you guys usually parked, the lady is telling us no.
Well, that's
she
good
says
to know.
She's saying her insurance won't let us be all there. And I've already acquired 10 spaces at the bank. That's a little further down the road. And I've been talking to businesses today about parking.
So we can't park on the site?
You can, but that won't fit all of us.
Okay.
And there won't really be that many people parking on site, like maybe 10, because we've been tearing up that site, and I just don't want to see us losing that site for next year.
Okay.
There's some damage there from last year.
Last year was pretty muddy. That's true. Some people got stuck.
I see it.
So question then.
Yes.
Well, two questions. First, where do you have everybody parking at then?
Still working on that. I'm making about 9 phone calls tomorrow, and I only need like 2 of those to succeed. So
okay. And then second question, how is that going to impact people with RVs or trailers?
That's why I've been looking at places really close to the site. I haven't been going too far.
Okay. So are those people going to have to camp off site?
I was thinking the RVs would be on site if someone had an RV, because essentially you guys aren't going to be moving RVs around throughout the next 3 days, except when you arrive and when you leave, right? I can't see you guys. Right, but I can't see you guys taking your RV down to Walmart. You would probably have your own personal car with you.
Yeah. No, that sounds appropriate. Okay. Well, just make sure that you communicate that stuff to the kingdom so they know before they get there.
Right. I'll make a post about tomorrow around 7 p.m.
Okay. And then how's the site as far as dryness goes?
Rainy.
Is it?
We rented a brush cutter and we went to town and we made we made a field on the UAF side because we
Right.
got permission this year to use that side for our battle games, but nothing can go on that side. No porta potties, no nothing. And the field I had made has been cut in half because of water. So now I'm making it the other direction to make up for the loss of space. And the field is going to turn out really nice. Which
Okay.
which I heard is
water going to dry out before this weekend.
hopeful. The field will be usable. I can't like stop the rain.
I know.
But but I can make the field really nice, which I heard from previous events that people were having issues with like hurt ankles and stuff. So me and Saban took the best spot we could find, and that's what we chose as our field. The flattest, most.
Okay. Anything else that the council needs to know, or?
Not at the moment, no.
Okay. Let's see. Kraken, you still here?
I did get 2 big RV garage tents for the event. That's being donated for the weekend by the IBW. I'm going to set those up in the center of the field on the Mormon church side, and we're going to park the pig roast grill in front of those tents, and hopefully people like that. There's going to be tiki torches.
Nice. That sounds
It
good.
sort of turned a little Hawaiian theme, but I think that's
cool.
pretty interesting.
All right. I'm looking forward to it.
And that's all I have to report.
Anybody else from the council have anything for Solstice War? Right. Mara, you're going up, right?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Are you in touch with their prime minister / gate people to deal with the money transfers?
That I am.
Perfect. Awesome. All right. Anybody else have anything? We'll move on to Kraken.
Hi, guys.
Howdy doodly.
So, good thing is this year we're going to have the same spot right next to White Bear at the front gate. I was able to work them down $50 on the actual site fee for us. So that's a good thing I was able to do. Another fun thing that was Tom reached out is they have VIP passes that they sell every year, which they get coupons from and stuff from all the vendors. So I was gonna hand out 1-3 fight in the arena for the VIP passes, and also they wanted me to donate something to their costume contest this year. So I'm personally making 4 short swords, 4 daggers, and some throwies, and I'm donating that to the costume contest for their prizes. And they're going to be talking about the Amp Guard booth during the costume contest for free advertisement during this event. So we're going to get some free PR there. We're going to get some good faces. Let's see, on the building side of things, I've had appointed Richter to help me out as my buildocrat for this. So me and him are going to go around and place to place and make a design of how we're going to do the event. I'm helping out Hunter with swords. I've been going to the events and I'm sewing up a bunch of covers. I got about 40 built right now, and I'm going to be spending the next few nights making a bunch more. And I have Hars on PR, and he's gotten really good on getting all the slots filled up and people volunteering for it. And I'm really glad I have all these people on my back helping me this. I think this is going to be a really good Ren Fair, and I'm expecting big things.
Okay. I just opened up my trailer And there's a bunch of swords from the State Fair booth. I think that they gave them to me when they were breaking down. So I've got a bunch of arena swords. If you need
Those,
those.
That would be
those gray
awesome.
and red ones.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, that's great. It's amazing to have those available.
I think I got about 10 of them. So I'll get those to you.
And do you have access to the big pop-up tent we use every year for the cells?
No, I don't have that.
Do you know who I could contact about getting that?
Yoo-hoo. All
Hey,
that's
Mara's
in my
got
shed. Your
Oh.
the poster in my shed, the signs in my shed, and the facades in my shed.
Get with Mara. She got a
Sweet.
bunch of stuff. This is why we
Okay,
need to
I will touch base with Mara on that.
Okay. You have advertising material and stuff set up?
I am making some flyers and stuff. I am going to use the budget that I got allotted to go down and print up a bunch of flyers, advertisements. I plan to have a laptop on site where people can come and check out the website, sign up to there. I'm going to have, membership applications and waivers in case anybody wants to sign up on site. I have a lot of things planned for this.
Okay. I also recommend a general contact sheet, which is like name and email address so that we can set people up. And also, whatever you do for advertising, make sure that those specific flyers advertise Newbie Barbecue, which is the following.
Absolutely. I'll make sure to add a spot on it. I was planning to do kind of like a 2-page newsletter flyer, and I would put it right on the back as upcoming events.
I would recommend you keep it super simple to keep printing costs low. Something you can get 4 out of a page, and just like a picture that kind of shows what Antguard is, like the Kingdom of Northreach, the website, and then come visit us, in 2 weeks or on the whatever Newbie Barbecue is.
Okay, yeah, absolutely, I can do that.
Because if we can just get them to come to Newbie Barbecue, we're good to go. If we can get them to go to the website, they get all the other information they need. If you hand them something that's just a whole wall of text, it'll probably go in the closest trash can, and we will have spent a ton of money. So don't do that.
Okay.
Keep it simple.
Newbie Barbecue is on June 16th.
Yes, 16th of June. Tell them free hot dogs. They can hit people with swords. We'll have swords they can borrow. Like that's the sell.
Cool beans. Yeah, I'll make it simple then, and do like I said, just make 4 per page. Simple. I can even add a QR code so people can just pop out their phone and scan it.
Yep, that works.
Love
Right,
it.
cool.
I like the QR code. I might steal that.
Now, QR code's great. I've done that before for this exact same thing, and it works pretty well. Just make sure that it's something that can be easily read if you shrink it down to 1/4 of a page.
Absolutely.
Because at 10 cents a page, 200 pages is only $20, right?
Yeah.
So if you cut that into 800 sheets, then you can get a lot of printing done very cheaply. Let's not spend it because we're spending a ton of money on the site. I'd like to not waste a ton of money on printing if we can get away with it.
Absolutely. Will do, boss.
Awesome. Thank you, Kraken. I appreciate all your hard work.
Hey, no problem. I'm happy to be able to help.
All right.
I'm sorry. Should I sign off now then?
Does anybody have any questions or comments for the Ren Fair Autocrat? Okay, then yeah, you can go ahead and sign off. Thank you very much.
All right. Thanks, guys. I'll see you later.
See you later. All right. Wolf's Cry. Hunter, that would be you.
Okay,
You can
so
be very brief right now. I know you got a lot of other stuff going on. Just is everything on track?
everything is on track. We're going to have to get an official schedule for the events from Blue. I want to know what order he wants to do, like the women's tourney and the Aeromaster and this, that, and the other, because I'm leaving that up to him, and I'll just say which order he wants to do it in. We will make the schedule reflect that. The official Facebook event page has launched, although prematurely. I was trying to do it at tomorrow morning, but the schedule button didn't work for me. So the page is up. I've got with Mara ticket prices are. I'm not really sure if they're official, but she sent me a link to the store page. Everything looked good,
Okay.
and
Can you send
we
me
can
some
start.
links when we're done
I'm
here?
planning on putting tickets for sale on Memorial Day.
Okay. Yeah, if you can shoot me links, I'd like to see everything before it goes out.
I can do that.
Mostly just because of how high profile this event is and how many people are interested in coming from out of state. I just want to take a look at stuff. I want to be nosy. All right.
That saved. I'll pop it into the COC chat now.
Perfect. Awesome. Love it.
So anyway, that's up. We're getting the ball officially rolling. A big thanks to Alora for getting me that super sweet flyer she made, which I really liked. You'll see it as soon as you get the page. I'll shoot you the link here in a second.
Perfect.
And I've got Karina working on a flyer too, which I'll probably put the schedule on, and this should be a big PR stunt. And I'm trying to get the radio stations and TV stations and whatnot to come down, maybe for Guild Wars, if they want to get up that early. I know they're kind of night owls over there, but
okay, that'd be cool. Anybody have anything for the Wolf's Cry Autocrat? All right. So we have two events that don't have autocrats yet. That's SenshiCon and Dungeon Crawl. I think that given the fact that SenshiCon's a little bit smaller, we can probably deal with that after Wolf's Cry, or after Solstice War, I mean. And then Dungeon Crawl's still a few months out, so we can probably deal with that after Solstice War as well. Any objections to that?
negative. There is one other thing I wanted to add to the Wolf's Cry thing.
Sorry.
If it's not too late here, I've already got a handful of vendors that are pretty much ready to rock and roll. If you can think of anybody else who wants to come, I want to see that marketplace just busy. So if you know of anybody that maybe wants to open up shop, let me know.
Sure. Let's see. In that vein, you could probably consider reducing the vendor fees if you're trying to get more vendors there.
It depends on what's going on. Like I've offered up, basically a labor trade. Like, hey, if you handle this for me, you can have your spot for a reduced or even completely free, depending on how big of a deal what you're helping with is. And then, I'm thinking about asking maybe Bosco's. I don't want to step on too many toes. Keep the marketplace diverse. But
Sure.
MJ, I talked with Robert. He said that he would like to have a slot, and I want to see what he's got to do. And be like, hey, other place that sells stuff that MJ's doesn't. Do you want to sell this kind of stuff here? And
right.
So don't want to step on too many toes, but I would like to see that marketplace packed because I think it's going to do a lot for the overall atmosphere of the entire event. It is kind of a central area.
Okay. All right. If there's nothing else for Wolf Cry, we'll move on. So this is just a discussion topic at this point in time, but our event bid process, I would like to see the organization move into a direction that projects the stuff out even farther in advance. Ideally, a year in advance. I think that it would be in the organization's best interest to know who the autocrat of an event is before the end of that event. Before the previous event. So, by Wolf's Cry, we should know who the next Wolf's Cry autocrat is going to be, et cetera, for Dungeon Crawl, at least for our bigger events, because it takes, we have to be scheduling that stuff a year in advance. And some of that stuff seems to get sort of, fall through the cracks because there isn't anyone specifically appointed to handle it. So we can either discuss it now, or I would just like you guys to kind of think about it before the next meeting. or even online where we can talk about it some more and see what kind of ideas you guys have for resolving that.
I would like to see these at least Wolf's Cry DC should be handled a year out. You know, less major events. State Fair, if we continue to do that, I'd say that would probably want to be handled a year out as well, just because it's such a big deal. It's a lot of work for a lot of people, and but I'm definitely in agreement with you here. You know, a year out for this kind of stuff. You know, but smaller events like Run Fair that we kind of know, you know, what's going to happen, and we're pretty well established, and you know, we're anticipating seeing a lot of turnout. You know, 6 months in advance. The other thing is doing the Guildmaster Engineer stuff. I think we need to start making swords year round.
Well, that was sort of that's actually, this is the first year we're doing it, but that's exactly the plan. That's why the budget was separated. And so it's just that this is the first year we've done it, and the budget for that was just passed in February. So we've only had, you know, a few months to get that process started. Going forward, the plan is absolutely to just be constantly making swords.
Yeah, so I'll see, based on what I've learned from what I'm doing, I'll see about not only, you know, ordering our material in bulk and in advance, but shipping it out to the necessary regions. So Tanana State Fair,
right?
You know, Astro Winds can do their stuff, Loop Moon can do their stuff, Ravenstone can do their stuff. But yeah, it's definitely something that would be very, very worthwhile to work on year round.
Yep, agreed. Okay. The next thing here, this is also just something for you guys to get in your heads before the next couple of meetings. As our time as the Council of Crowns comes to an end here in a couple of months, I'd like you guys to be thinking about any admin manual additions or revisions that we need to address. Essentially, are there things that we do that we found to be a best practice that the organization would be well served by us documenting that in the admin manual? Let's get a list of that stuff and get the admin manual updated so that we can create a better roadmap for future councils. So that's something we can discuss online. But I just want you guys thinking about that over the next couple of meetings, okay?
I've already got a couple things in mind, but I'll discuss that with you guys later. So
yeah, we can talk about those online and in more detail at future meetings. So that moves us on to regional concerns. Astro Winds, do you have any regional concerns?
Yeah, I'm not seeing